Hey there. Welcome to Blake's Everyday Podcast. This is another great podcast. The last podcast I kind of lied to you because I thought the USA played their semifinal hockey game on Saturday. It was today, and it was good. We won, going to the finals, and of course, who could you guess that we were going to go against? It's definitely Canada. It's going to be, that's pretty much what everybody has said from the get go. USA versus Canada. It's just a given. But we stopped at chapter third. Well, we stopped before chapter 36, but we finished at chapter 35 of Job. And as you guys kind of remember, Elihu was kind of talking, and I stopped. I wanted to keep going, and I think we're gonna finish Job tonight. To be honest with you, I really think we could do it just because the sheer excitement. We get to a point in this, in these chapters that God starts talking and stuff, and that's pretty cool. I think that's more reason to keep reading. But we're going to go ahead and start on chapter 36. Let me grab a little sip of my drink, and then I will start this bad boy off. All right, let's do it. So, Job chapter 36, Elihu continued, "Bear with me a little longer, and I will show you that there's more to be said in God's behalf. I get my knowledge from afar. I will ascribe justice to my Maker. Be assured that my words are not false. One who has perfect knowledge is with you. God is mighty, but despises no one. He is mighty and firm in his purpose. He does not keep the wicked alive, but gives the afflicted their rights. He does not take his eyes off the righteous. He enthrones them with kings and exalts them forever. But if people are bound in chains, held fast by cords of affliction, he tells them that they have sinned arrogantly." So he tells them what? I messed up there, but we're going to keep going. He tells them what they have done, that they have sinned arrogantly. He makes them listen to correction and commands them to repent of their evil. If they obey and serve him, they will spend the rest of their days in prosperity and their years in contentment. But if they do not listen, they will perish by the sword and die without knowledge. The godless in heart harbor resentment, even when he fetters them. They do not cry for help. They die in their youth among male prostitutes of the shrines. But those who suffer he delivers in their suffering. He speaks to them in their affliction. He is wooing you from the jaws of distress to a spacious place, free from restriction, to the comfort of your table, laden with choice of food. But now you are laden with the judgment due the wicked. Judgment and justice have taken hold of you. Be careful that no one entices you by riches. Do not let a large bribe turn you aside. Would your wealth or even all your mighty efforts sustain you so you would not be in distress? Do not long for the night to drag people away from their homes. Beware of Beware of turning evil, which you seem to prefer to affliction. God is exalted in his power. Who is a teacher like him? Who has prescribed his ways for him, or said to him, "You have done wrong"? Remember to extol his work, which people have praised in song. All humanity has seen it. Mortals gaze on it from afar. How great is God! Beyond our understanding. The number of his years is past finding out. He draws up the drops of water, which distill as rain to the steams. The clouds pour down their moisture, and abundant showers fall on mankind. Who can understand how he spreads out the clouds, how he thunders from his pavilion? See how he scatters his lightning about him, bathing the depths of the sea. This is the way governs the nations, and provides food in abundance. He fills his hands with lightning and commands it to strike its mark. His thunder announces the coming storm. Even the cattle make known its approach. So that was chapter 36. We are going to just double check that there's not a description at the bottom on this page. And there is not. So we are going to continue on to chapter 37. I do know that we do have some descriptions going on chapter 37. Yep. All right. So at this my heart pounds and leaps from its place. Listen to the roar of his voice, to the rumbling that comes from his mouth. He unleashes his lightning beneath the whole heaven, and sends it to the ends of the earth. After that comes the sound of his roar. He thunders with his majestic voice. When his voice resounds, he holds nothing back. God's voice thunders in marvelous ways. He does great things beyond our understanding. He says to the snow, "Fall on the earth," and the rain shower be a mighty downpour, so that everyone he has made may know his work. He stops all people from their labor. The animals take cover; they remain in their dens. The tempest comes out from its chamber, the cold from the driving winds. The breath of God produces ice, and the broad waters become frozen. He loads the clouds with moisture. He scatters his lightning throughout them. At his direction, they swirl around over the face of the whole earth to do whatever he commands them. He brings the clouds to punish people, or to water his earth and show his love. Listen to this, Job. Stop and consider God's wonders. Do you know how God controls the clouds and makes his lightning flash? Do you know how the clouds hang poised? Those wonders of him who has perfect knowledge. You who swelter in your clouds when the land lies hushed under the south wind, can you join him in spreading out the skies hard as a mirror of cast bronze? Tell us what we should say to him. We cannot draw up our case because of our darkness. Should he be told that I want to speak? Would anyone ask to be swallowed up? Now no one can look at the sun bright as it is in the skies, after the wind has swept them clean. Out of the north he comes in golden splendor. God comes in awesome majesty. Awesome majesty? majesty. The Almighty is beyond our reach and exalted in power. In his justice and great righteousness, he does not oppress. Therefore, people revere him. For does he not have regard for all wise in heart? Okay. I suck at reading. I am the worst at reading, but we made it through that chapter, and we'll continue. But we're going to go ahead and turn back and read the description here for chapter 37. So Job chapter 37, verses 1 through 24. God would soon deliver a speech similar to Elihu's. God is the Creator, the Almighty One, but he is not beyond our reach. He has made himself available to us, even when we fall desperately short of his glorious ideals. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, pray more. I mean, that's the gist of that I got. Pray more. God isn't so far away. Believe in him. Get closer with him with talking. You know, the whole shebang. That's the work. I mean, now we go on to chapter 38, and the title for this is The Lord Speaks, and the Lord, to me, in my knowledge, I believe the Lord speaks all the way to chapter, pretty much throughout the whole rest of this book, which is awesome. I mean, that's who we want to talk, right? I mean, but the Lord speaks. Then the Lord spoke to Job out of the storm. He said, "Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footing set, or who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy, who shut up the sea behind doors when it burst forth from the womb? When I made the clouds its garments and wrapped it in thick darkness, when I fixed limits for it and set its doors and bars in place, when I said, this far you may come and no farther, here is where your proud ways halt. Have you ever given orders to the morning, or shown the dawn its place, that it might take the earth by the edges and shake the wicked out of it? The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment. The wicked are denied their light, and their upraised arm is broken. Have you journeyed to the springs of the sea, or walked in the recesses of the deep? Have the gates of death been shown to you? Have you seen the gates of the deepest darkness? Have you comprehended the vast expanses of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. What is the way to the abode of light, and where does darkness reside? Can you take them to their place? Do you know the paths to their dwellings? Surely you know, for you were already born. You have lived so many years. Have you entered the storehouses of the snow, or seen the storehouses of the hail? which I reserve for times of trouble, for days of war and battle. What is the way to the place where the lightning is dispersed, or the place where the east winds are scattered over the earth? Who cuts a channel for the torrents of rain, and a path for the thunderstorm? To water a land where no one lives, an uninhabited desert, to satisfy a desolate wasteland, and make it sprout with grass. Does the rain have a father? Who fathers the drops of dew? From whose womb comes the ice? Who gives birth to the frost from the heavens? When the waters become hard as stone, when the surface of the deep is frozen, can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt? Can you bring forth the constellations in their seasons, or lead out the bear with its cubs? Do you know the laws of the heavens? Can you set up God's dominion over the earth? Can you raise your voice to the clouds and cover yourself with a flood of water? Do you send the lightning bolts on their way? Do they report to you, "Here we are"? Who gives the abyss wisdom, or gives the rooster understanding? Who has the wisdom to count the clouds? Who can tip over the water jars of the heavens? When the dust becomes hard and the clouds of earth stick together, do you hunt the prey for the lioness and satisfy the hunger of the lions when they crouch in their dens or lie in wait in the thicket? Who provides food for the raven when its young cry out to God and wonder about the lack of food? I'm going to reread that last verse. That was pretty bad reading. Who provides food for the raven when its young cry? Who provides food for the raven when it young cries out to God and wonder about for lack of food? All right. Like I said, last chapter, man, I don't know. I suck at reading. And I notice it. Don't get me wrong. Especially because I'm super monotone. I mean, it just comes kind of naturally. It just monotone and terrible at reading. Maybe it's just genetics. Who knows? So, Job chapter 38, verses 2 through 39 and 30. God used a series of questions to illustrate how little Job knew about creation and God's ways. If Job knew nothing of these mysteries, how could he question God? All Job could do was worship and trust God. We too wonder why we suffer. We wonder why bad things happen to us, to those we love. But we, like Job, are finite and cannot understand the ways of the infinite God. All we can do is praise Him and await His deliverance. Yeah, I mean, pretty simple there. Who are we to get on to God? I mean, but all we can do is praise Him and await His deliverance. And that's, yeah. I'm going to take one more drink real quick, and we're going to keep on continuing. All right. So to my knowledge, we have 42 chapters of Job. We're now on chapter 39, and I think we read the rest, right? I mean, there's no way we're stopping at 40. We got to finish the book. So, starting back off at chapter 39, do you know when the mountain goats give birth? Do you watch when the doe bears her fawn? Do you count the months till they bear? Do you know the time they give birth? They crouch down and bring forth their young. Their labor pains are ended. Their young thrive and grow strong in the wilds. They leave and do not return. Who let the wild donkey go free? Who tied its ropes? I gave it the wasteland as its home, the salt flats as its habitat. It laughs at the commotion in the town. It does not hear a driver shout. It ranges the hills for its pasture and searches for any green thing. Will the wild ox consent to serve you? Will it stay by your manager at night? Can you hold it to the furrow with the harness? Will it till the valleys behind you? Will you rely on it for its great strength? Will you leave your heavy work to it? Can you trust it to haul in your grain and bring it to your threshing floor? The wings of the ostrich flap joyfully, though they cannot compare. All right. With the wings and feathers of the stork, she lays her eggs on the ground and lets them warm in the sand, unmindful that a foot may crush them and some wild animal may trample them. She treats her young harshly as if they were not hers. She cares not that her labor was in vain, for God did not endow her with wisdom or give her a share of God's sense. Yet when she spreads her feathers to run, she laughs at horse and rider. Do you give the horse its strength or clothe its neck with a flowing mane? Do you make it leap like a locust, striking terror with its proud snorting? It paws fiercely, rejoicing in its strength, and charges into the fray. It laughs at fear, afraid of nothing. It does not shy away from the sword, and the quiver rattles against its side along the flashing spear and lance. In frenzied excitement, it eats up the ground. It cannot stand still. When the trumpet sounds. At the blast of the trumpet it snorts. Aha! It catches the scent of the battle from afar, the shout of the commanders and the battle cry. Does the hawk take flight by your wisdom and spread its wings toward the south? Does the eagle soar at your command? And build its nest on high? It dwells on a cliff and stays there at night. A rocky crag is its stronghold. From there it looks for food. Its eyes detect it from afar. Its young ones feast on blood, and where the slain are, there it is. All right, so that was chapter 39. We don't have a little description this time, so let's just keep going. Chapter 40. The Lord said to Job, Will the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? Let him who accuses God answer him. Then Job answered the Lord, I am unworthy. How can I reply to you? I put my hands over my mouth. I spoke once, but I have no answer. Twice, but I will say no more. Then the Lord spoke to Job out of the storm. Brace yourself like a man, and I will question you, and you shall answer me. Would you discredit my justice? Would you condemn me to justify yourself? Do you have an arm like God's, and can your voice thunder like his? Then adorn yourself with glory and splendor, and clothe yourself in honor and majesty. Unleash the fury of your wrath. Look at all who are proud and bring them low. Look at all those who are proud and humble them. Crush the wicked where they stand. Bury them all in the dust together. Shroud their faces in the grave. Then I myself will admit to you that your own right hand can save you. Look at Behemoth, which I made along with you, and which feeds on grass like an ox. What strength it has in its loins, what power in the muscles of its belly. Its tail sways like cedar. The sinews of its thighs are close knit. Its bones are tubes of bronze, its limbs like rods of iron. It ranks first among the works of God, yet its maker can approach it with his sword. The hills bring in their produce, and all the wild animals play nearby. Under the louse plants it lies, hidden among the reeds of in the marsh. The locusts conceal it in their shadow. The poplars by the stream surround it. A raging river does not alarm it. It is secure, though the Jordan should surge against its mouth. Can anyone capture it by the eyes, or trap it and pierce its nose? Question mark. So that was chapter 40. On a normal night, we would stop right there, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and read this description down here. So, Job chapter 40, verses 1 through 41 and 34. God uses the majesty and power of his creation to remind Job that God is the only one who can save. If Job could not even overpower created beings, how could Job save himself from the God who created those beings? Everything under heavens belongs to God, and that included Job. God never did give Job an explanation for his suffering. God only let Job know that he was sovereign. Likewise, we may be suffering without knowing the source of our pain. We may suffer because of the sins of others, or simply because we live in a fallen world. We may never know why we have to go through the pain, but we need to realize that God is ultimately in control. Our faith in him will be rewarded, if not in this life, then in the next. All right. Well, I know I wanted to read the rest of this book tonight, but I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty dang tired. And we finished at Job chapter 40. Next chapter is Job chapter 41. It's not that I don't want to keep reading, but it's a late night, and There's nothing wrong with that. We're just gonna read deep into whatever our next book is. But I appreciate you guys listening to me. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm sure I'll talk to you throughout the weekend. My plan is to do this every night. So if you see me posting something, feel free to give a like or a comment or whatever. Not that I rely on that. Don't feel obligated to do any of that. So have a great night. Have a great weekend. Spend some time with your family. And you guys have a great rest of your evening.